Hi everybody, welcome back. I'm here with Dr. Nick and Jade Schwadock. So what advice would you give a new missionary family in process and making that transition and kind of, I know you're new on the field, but if you had to look back and say, well, there's one thing we probably would have done differently, what would that be?
Now, I think the biggest thing is where you are at that moment's where you are. And so if you're raising support, or you're halfway there, or you're going to training at CHSC, SC, or you're going to MTI, just enjoy that moment where God has you. It's a long process. I mean, you kind of want to get in the field, especially if you're in the medical world. It's like, when can I start working?
Sure.
And even getting back here, the doctors were really good here of giving us a little grace and time, but I still probably jumped into work a little too quick because I just felt like I had to. It's what I do. I'm a doctor. But I would say just enjoy those moments you're at, and just because God has something for you at each step. And don't just be thinking, I've got to get to be fully funded, or I have to be there, I have to start working. I think just every step of that's part of the journey.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that's good. I think, it all boils down to obey God. And you wake up every day and you go, God, what do you have for me today? And you obey that, I think a lot of times as a planner, I want to have it all figured out about 6 months out.
Sure doesn't happen in this process, does it?
No,
Ever?
and it's a good thing because God knows that I would be overwhelmed if He told me what I needed to know for the next 6 months, right? So I do think you wake up every day and you go, hey Lord, your eyes stay focused on Him, and what do you have for me today? And you stay open to what He brings you. You may see that as an interruption, but I think sometimes those interruptions are exactly why God has you there. So, yeah.
Was it you who said the other day that it's really about the interruption and not what you have planned? Something like that in the work process. I think that's...
The interruptions might be what God has for you that day.
So, quick question. Greatest challenges since you've been in this process and since you've been out here?
Staying connected to our kids. With the time difference, we have 3 grown kids at home. I mean, one's in college, one's married, and then our oldest, who's a son, is working and he's out of college. But being away from them, not being able to get to them in a few hours, and then staying connected to them through the time change and all that I think it's been a little bit of a challenge for me.
For me, it's just like getting things done. Like, we're about to move into a different house, trying to get it painted, and literally it can take a whole day just to obtain paint, and maybe a whole day and you don't get the paint you need. Where we're used to going home to Lowe's, Home Depot, you get the paint and you have everything you need within an hour, and so it takes...
Access is differently...
Little things are a challenge.
Take a lot of planning.
And sometimes you go to the Capitol 5 hours away and you think you're going to get this thing done, and it doesn't happen. So the next 2 weeks when you come back down, you'll get it done. So it's just, you got to have a lot of patience and just realize you may not get the things done you want to get done. And I'm not even a planner, and it can get me a little crazy sometimes. So for the people that are planners, it can be challenging.
Greatest blessings thus far?
Just the way that God has provided all of our needs. At every step of the way, when we needed it, we had what we needed,
For me, I've never been able to come home for lunch, and it's just, the hospital's just right there, home's right here, and so I have everyday home lunch with our youngest daughter and Jade, who are here, and so it's like, wow, this is cool. You get to kind of stop midday, spend time with the family, and it's like, I've never done that. I've always been too busy, lunch meetings, or too far to come home. So that's been fun. It's definitely more family time. There's those distractions that happen at night and weekends back home aren't really there. Even though I try to do it by watching football games at 4 or 5 in the morning, nothing comes at the right time for back home. So we don't get those normal distractions. So good family time. Yeah.
The culture is also very inviting and open, and they love that we're here. They sometimes go, why did you leave America? But but they love that we're here, and it's very relational, which is nice when you're new.
So this is Restoration Gateway. Now there's a lot of projects going on here. They have a school. Tell us a little bit about the school. What's they have, how many kids are enrolled in that school? I think that's something that not all mission stations have, and it seems like the curriculums are pretty solid even for MKs.
Yeah, I mean, they taken the Ugandan curriculum, which I think is pretty good, and merged it with the Bob Jones curriculum. And so they get all the facts and knowledge out of the Ugandan curriculum, but then mixed with the faith-based curriculum. And there's even a group in the north that used to be here called Roots to Fruits, who have actually, they're creating that merged curriculum, and it came down and just taught the teachers. So, we have older children, so they're, we're not in the school, but the other group will utilize some of the classes there and then homeschool the others. And even though we're in rural Uganda, 3G is the best here, but they still stream live classes and do things. So you can do kind of a potpourri of if you want to do internet-based live learning, you're able to do that here, or you want to take some classes at the high school, you can, and it's all been done.
So what are the greatest needs for the hospital right now?
Greatest needs for the hospital. In manpower, it would be, we can do just about everything now, but we do need some things in the surgical realm, like a nice big sterilizer. We're using a little bitty thing, but we're doing OB-GYN surgery, exploratory labs and things, but we really need a general surgeon, because then I feel terrible. We can do just about everything, but we have to send away our gallbladders or certain kind of surgeries. So I think, and we're still ramping up in our lab equipment. We have quite a bit of lab, but I think the biggest need would be in the surgical realm. We need a theater assistant, an anesthetic officer, a surgeon, and even if someone wanted to come and do the administrative side, like hospital administrator, we could have some needs, probably some use there. Somebody wanted to serve and come try to run a hospital.
So, I mean, this is kind of a unique place because this is a new hospital. It only started, about 11 months ago, or within the last year, anyway. So you're really taking on kind of helping launch a mission hospital in Africa. That's no kind of small undertaking. Well, I know we'll be looking for a general surgeon for you, and whoever else we can find to come here and work with you guys and support you.
Yeah, full spectrum. Yeah, I mean, we do peds and newborns and preemies and adults, and so it's going to be a full spectrum. So full spectrum trained family docs, pediatrician, all could be used here. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you guys for taking the time out and sharing a little bit about your journey here and maybe a little bit about this place.
Yeah, thanks for coming. Yeah, it's a long journey for you, but it's good to see you.